Well, the European Arrest Warrant has been in operation for a decade now, and I think it's proved its worth as a key crime-fighting tool to tackle major crime and organised crime. And we know there's a big threat of mafia criminal gangs, as well as murder and rape and child sex offences and so on. And so it is absolutely essential to maintain the use and the integrity of the European Arrest Warrant. However, it has become more and more evident that there are flaws in its operation. It does need change and improvement, in particular to stop it being used for really quite minor offences, some even quite trivial. So there needs to be a proportionality check before a European Arrest Warrant is issued. Secondly, we need to make absolutely sure that it is not misused as a sort of investigative fishing instrument when really the investigation is at the stage of collecting evidence. And the European Investigation Order, which is being approved this week by the European Parliament, will fill the gap, take some of the strain off the European Arrest Warrant. But the third bit of the jigsaw is to say that there must be a strengthened power for a national court which is receiving European arrest warrant to look at it and say, actually, this is going to have a disproportionate influence on someone's human rights, and we should, in all the circumstances, refuse it. So we want that to be enshrined in the actual text of the European arrest warrant. All this would be bolstered by a consultation mechanism we're calling for between the court in the issuing country and the one in the receiving country, so that you could have a flow of information to check, for instance, that the case was indeed ready for trial, because the European arrest warrant is supposed to be applied for the purposes of criminal prosecution. It's not supposed to be that you haul someone off to stay more than a year on pre-trial remand, and we want to get rid of that sort of problem, because there's a real worry about pre-trial detention conditions and indeed poor prison conditions generally. So we're calling on the European Commission, which will be the new Commission, to make a legislative proposal or proposals within a year and to reform the European arrest warrant, to actually change the text of the legislation. And I shall be pursuing that when I'm re-elected. And I think the fact that we've got a broad spectrum of support, all the political groups who took part in the meetings for my report are endorsing it with no change. So I think that's a very powerful message from the European Parliament to the new Commission to say, we want you to come forward with legislative proposal. Don't dodge it, don't kick it into touch. We need reform, and I think that will therefore bolster support for the EAW, not only as an efficient and effective tool to fight crime and have police cooperation, but also one that is fundamentally fair.